Are you seriously planning to quit your job? Or maybe you are just enormously stressed. Everything is pissing you off when you go to work, and all you can think about is just leaving. Or maybe one day coming to your boss or to your coworkers and telling them everything you think about them. Not a good idea. Because you know what? If you quit or you have a scandal and change to another job, you'll probably repeat all these issues again and again and again. Hello, my fellow brain owners. I'm Dr. Shalts, a board-certified psychiatrist with over 40 years of clinical experience and an author of Brain Technology System. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most hidden, secret, ancient methods of how to deal with stress at work and, quite frankly, in life. Let me start from telling you the story about my father. In the early 60s, I was born in 1955, my father was already running a construction site, and not infrequently he would come back home basically pissed. And you know what, the next day he had to go back to work, and he had to deal with his co-workers. So his way of dealing with the stress was sitting down after the dinner and writing very, very, very long letters to somebody he had an argument with, so then he can take the steam off. You probably also heard about this amazing method, amazing in quotes method, that people frequently use, especially in Japan, directly at workplace, when they place a hitting dummy, and then you can box with the dummy and hit the dummy a couple of times, or maybe many times, and let your tension out. Well, you let your tension today, but it's coming back to you with vengeance tomorrow. So maybe you heard about meditating. I have to tell you, as a person who spent years and years studying yoga, it takes a lot of effort and a long time to learn how to meditate and remove the stress. The main problem at the root of this issue was identified by psychologists a long time ago. It is a mismatch between your inner expectations and the reality of the world around you. And now I'm going to give you an example of what can be done with amazing results. And these results you are going to get almost immediately. Of course, because I'm older, it's easier for me to tell you a story. Many, many years ago, in my 6th year in the medical school, that's how people study medicine in Europe, and I'm originally from Moscow. I immigrated from the Soviet Union in 1988. So I was in Moscow in my last year of clinical training at the cardiology department in a very large hospital. It was springtime, and me and my friend were coming down from the cardiology floor, the 6th floor, by the stairs. His objective was to have a cigarette. I didn't smoke, I was practicing yoga, but he was one of my best friends. So I decided to keep company with him. Coming down the stairs, we saw that on the street, there was a chief nurse of our department who has been known to be a real bitch, cleaning some stuff on the street. It was a tradition in the Soviet Union. In May, people were cleaning the streets. So we were coming down, and I told my friend, you know, Alex, we are going to come down right now, and Maria is going to tell us, boys, why don't you help me to pick up some shrubs? And Alex said, Ed, you must be crazy. Are you an idiot? Look at us. We are wearing white coats. We are doctors. She can't do that. I told him, absolutely she can. By the way, Alex used to be a boxer and was hit in the head a couple of times and had quite a temper. So I knew that he's going to flare up. We discussed it a little bit more, came out the door. Maria came to us and said, boys, why don't you help me to clean some shrubs? And Alex started laughing. So you see that instead of becoming predictably angry in his case, he just laughed it away. Why did it happen? Because I reset his unrealistic expectations and brought them down to earth. So Alex knew what to expect, and when it happened, it was not in discord of what he had inside of him. What I just showed you very clearly works, and I call it in my system of brain technology, mental vaccination. But guess what? I didn't invent it. It's ancient. And I'm going now to take you back just for a few seconds to show you that a long time ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, humanity came up with this method, way before I told you about it. In ancient Greece, there was this movement called Stoicism. You probably heard about the Stoics, people who were very strong and could tolerate horrible things in the environment and in their life. And they called this method premeditato malorum, which you can loosely translate as premeditating something bad happening. In yoga, this method is called abhyasa. In Buddhism, it's called the acceptance of impermanence. And the famous Sun Tzu just called it winning the battle before it begins. So my fellow brain owners, you just learned the method of mental vaccination. And I suggest you try it. It actually worked very well for me and many other people like Alex, my friend. It's very easy to master. If you keep doing what I just told you, you'll see the results are quite amazing. So what I suggest you do, start your morning from sitting down for a few brief minutes and just imagine how your day is going to unfold today. And what are these things that you can possibly come across in your professional or even personal life that have a tendency to piss you off and make you angry. And play them realistically, as if they are happening right now. And then think for yourself, what would be a rational way to respond? So essentially, you are going to prepare yourself for winning the battle, even before it started. I'm going to stop here, and in the next episode, I'm going to talk to you about another amazing method. Until then, goodbye. And please remember, your brain is the most sophisticated and the most expensive piece of equipment you'll ever own. Please take good care of it. Goodbye.